a left back. We've signed a left back, friends.
You don't wait for me, 'cause I keep breathing fire. I won't wait for you, 'cause you keep telling lies. I keep going high, she keeps going low. At the end of the day, she's gone. But you don't wait for me, 'cause I keep breathing fire. And you keep telling
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Outcasts to Icons. It's the start of season 15 of this save, which is kind of mad, if I'm honest, and we are of course still at Sassuolo. We've had big plans for it so far, and I've been pleased with the way things are progressing, but this has been a very interesting summer. For those of you, just to catch you up, of course we qualified for the Champions League this season, despite falling short in the Europa Conference League ourselves. Honestly, we were literally a player's back away from not qualifying, as Napoli had that chance in the final seconds of that game against us that could have knocked us completely off of our rocker, but we eventually did qualify over AC Milan on head-to-head, which is kind of nuts. But that's the position we find ourselves in, and as you can see, we're starting on Nico Pavlich because he is still here. Now, he's pissed at me because I won't let him move to Barcelona at the moment, but it's a good sign that Barca are interested in it. The ironic thing is I gave him a new contract like 2 months before, and now he's like, no, I don't care about that, the fact that you're paying me 100 grand a week. I want to go to Barcelona. And I'm like, no, I don't think you will. Now, with us making copious amounts of transfers this summer, both in and out, I've been having to try to keep track of all those things going on, and I've been using the One Football app to do exactly that. You'll be the first to be notified when your team has made a brand new transfer. I was first notified about Harry Wilson and Paulo Gazzaniga through the wonderfulness of the app. But not only that, you'll get live up-to-date scores for your team and for any team you want to follow throughout Europe and the rest of the world. So once again, a massive thank you to OneFootball for sponsoring this video, and you can download the app for free with the link in the top line of the description. Finances as well are much better now because we obviously got a decent amount of money for the TV money for the league. Prize money was £17 million, so that's good. We're obviously going to get more in Champions League money, but that didn't stop the board from only giving us 12 million in transfer funds. Now, by moving money around, calling in some clauses as well, we got another like 5 million out of the Bianco deal as well, which is really, really useful. So I've definitely been able to spend more than that and try to build a squad, really. My biggest focus in this summer was really trying to refit our left side and kind of go from there. And I do believe that we've actually managed to find some pretty solid players for that left side, including a left back. We've signed a left back, friends. We also have a brand new head of youth development because our other one retires. We've got a new guy whose first name is literally Agony, which is pretty damn sick. He's Spanish, but he's also a model citizen. So that's going to be hopefully good. Maybe he can influence some really quality personalities to come through our youth intakes. We also got offered a job interview at PSG. So our stock has never been higher in this save. PSG want Kim. Obviously, there was bound to be some outs this summer to go along with some of the ins, and there's been quite a few. Not so much on the outs, but one particular saga that we need to talk about for a player who has left. So let's just discuss this now. In addition, we're going to have the Champions League group stage draw at the end of the episode as well, because we can get that in there before our next league game, so that's going to be cool. We're playing Napoli on the first day of the season as well, so there's that too. The first thing you'll notice is that Merlin Kelly is no longer here. He has gone to Ajax. Now, there is a reason why this had to happen. And, I mean, we were kind of planning on doing it anyway, but my hand was essentially forced. So let me just explain how this has gone down. So basically, in Italy, as we know how it works, each season you can sign one player who is non-EU from abroad. You can sign another one, I believe, who is from the domestic league already and is counted as non-EU, and that kind of takes it up. If you want to bring in any more, you have to sell a player who is non-EU, Merlin was one of those, to a side abroad in order to fill up another slot. Now, I already had our non-EU slot basically being filled when we were setting up the summer, because I knew that Chris Hewitt was joining us from Arsenal after being on loan at Derby County last year, and I was more than happy for that deal to make sense and have that happen. I'd already got it planned out. It was cool. He'll be our one non-EU signing. However, the game had other ideas. So essentially, you might remember I showed you a South African guy that I signed last season, and he eventually joined us in January, but didn't need to register him, wasn't bothered to register him, so I sent him out on loan to Belgium. All is well so far. When the thing came round to basically say the thing about like the non-EU thing, the game automatically picked him as our non-EU player. I had no choice. Before, I was given a choice of players. It just randomly selected him, apparently. And I think the reason for that was because that happened on the day before the players come in, rather than on the day that the new players join us. So that was kind of silly. Bear in mind, he's still out on loan in Belgium. So, yeah, it wasted the slot on a guy who literally was never going to play for us and also signed for us last season. So I didn't know that it took in signings from the previous season and counted them automatically ahead of your new signings and didn't give you a choice. So that's kind of sucky, and now I know for the future that that's a thing that could happen. So as a result, I was basically forced into moving Mervyn Kelly on to a new side because the only way we could register our brand new signing was to move on Merlin Kelly, and it was one of the things I was planning on doing anyway, but it definitely forced my hand. That's where things started to get even worse. So I basically did the thing where you offer them out. He said he wouldn't react well, but you can do it through your director of football, and it actually goes okay, and he doesn't cause a fuss. Had some big bids. Bid of £16.5 million from Krasnodar, which he then snubbed because he wanted to go to West Ham. I was like, you know what? If we have to take a bit less money to get him to go to West Ham, it's fine. So I eventually offered him out again, and West Ham came in with a £13.5 million bid. I was like, that's fine. Gives us basically the money we paid for him back, and it gets him off the wage bill. However, he then snubbed the deal for the club that he was saying he'd be unsettled if I didn't let him go to. And he asked for a payoff, which I then gave him. And the thing is, from what I can see, because it kind of gives you an idea of what they're going to be on at the new club, he's taken less money to go to Ajax than he was to go to the club he actually wanted to in the first place. The worst thing about this as well is that because of that, I was then desperately trying to offer him out, and in the end, we ended up getting 4.1 million for him to go to Ajax, but it was just a desperation move. So, a very bad piece of business. Undeniable, but he has really screwed us on that one by not taking the £70,000 that he was offered to go play for West Ham. My only answer to it is that perhaps they were offering him a lower squad status, but he's only a regular starter at Ajax, so I don't know. Merlin has royally screwed us though, so we're going to be in a bit of trouble with that one. We've made up for it elsewhere in terms of the funds, so it's not that big of a deal. We're still in a really good financial situation, but still very frustrating to have that one happen. But now in theory there shouldn't be any more tricks up the sleeves for the older registration stuff. But anyway, that's enough about that. Let's show you the real good news, which is the players we've brought in, and I'm genuinely very happy with these guys. The first of which, of course, is Chris Hewitt, who's come in on a free transfer from Arsenal, instantly comes in and is worth nearly £17 million. And you might think, well, it uses a non-EU slot. It does, but like, look at him. How could we not when he was available for free? And given the shoestring budget we were working on, finding and making signings like this is the exact way that a team like Sassuolo can develop talent and also make money in the long term. So if we had to bring this guy in on a 4-year deal, he's only on £33,000 a week as well, and a regular starter. I think he's an excellent player and will definitely find himself some games. And it just boasts out our midfield. I found one of the problems last year is we did lack a little bit of depth in our centre of midfield. So just getting Chris Hewitt in, who can play in both of these positions, I feel was a good piece of business. And he's free as well. Free. What more can I say? He's free. Speaking of free signings, I also brought in Damiel Luis, a 22-year-old Brazilian striker. Now, he may be Brazilian, but he also counted as EU because he'd been at Milan for such a long time. So I meant that there was basically no risk on bringing this guy in, essentially. 22-year-old striker. He'll give us a bit more backup in our striker options. So, with Siggy having to cover more positions this year, potentially, it gives us an option if Lebert isn't quite feeling up for it. He's got good finishing, good composure. And again, he was a free transfer from AC Milan, and he's not using any non-EU slots. He's also 22 still, which means he doesn't even count to be registered for the squad. So I was happy to do it, bring him in. Again, he's only worth like £5 million, but I don't think he's on massive money either. £26,000 a week is fine by me to bring this guy in. We had loads of like wage budget freed up as well by a lot of players leaving. So again, these are the sort of signings I really wanted to make. And there is one other signing who I've made on a free transfer who I'm still pretty pleased with, even though he's not really fitting what I want to do. And that is Gabriel Martinelli. He's coming on a free transfer from Lazio. And even he is only on £46,000 a week. A free transfer instantly worth £17.5 million for the 32-year-old Brazilian. And again, because he's been in Europe so long, doesn't count as non-EU. And I think he just has outrageous attributes for that left-hand side, to be honest. Like, I know he's right-footed, but you've seen how we can get on, even as a winger. Like, great finishing, great composure, crossing, dribbling, everything. And he can take a free kick too, which is bloody useful. So when the opportunity came to sign him and only put him on £46,000 a week, then I was more than happy to bite their hand off and bring in those three signings. Have just done a job on us, really, without even having to spend any real money. Even the signing on fees weren't particularly good. I don't normally go for the older players, but when Martinelli was available, I thought, you know what, this is the sort of signing we actually could do with. Don't worry, I have signed another left-sided player as well, who I'd already agreed the deal before I found Martinelli, but I just felt that it was a too good to turn down type of situation. Particularly as all I had to promise him was that we'd finish in the top half within a couple of seasons. Yeah, we might just achieve that, Gabriel. Next up, I know, it's another central midfielder, but this one, again, this is Flavio Chazari, who's, why has it done? This is the problem. Like, it's changed this back again, even though we're literally, it seems to change from player to player and randomly just assigns this stuff differently. It's very annoying. 1 second. I thought it only did it when I reloaded the skin, but it seems to just randomly do it in the middle of the game sometimes for whatever reason. But yeah, Flavio Chazari has come in on not on a free transfer. He's actually cost us some money. £3.4 million from Roma. They transfer listed this guy, and I thought to myself, he's Italian. He wants to play as a Mezzala as well. And it just felt like another no-brainer to bring in a guy for 3.4 million who's instantly worth 12 and has really good attributes. He's a young Italian central midfielder, really does bolster out that part of our team now. So we are stacked in that zone with really, really good, talented players that we have definitely paid well under the odds for. And that, for me, was the key thing. £3.4 million Roma sold us this guy for. I couldn't believe it when they gave the opportunity to bring him in. Like, good stamina, no, like, horrendous cons either. Just an incredible player. So again, really, really excited to bring him in as well. And you think to yourself, but I thought you talked about the left side. Don't worry, it's coming. As obviously our Bosnian young goalkeeper, who I talked about last season, has joined us too. £1.2 million. All of these guys, by the way, all joined on the same day. I got our business done extremely early this summer, and I was very, very proud of that. And the last of the players that joined us on that opening day of the transfer window is Blessing Rahiri Haramanana. That's him. It's him. He's in. The guy from Hellas Verona, who immediately comes in and is worth £14 million. Yeah, we paid 5, and it's 2.5 up front. I couldn't believe that they only wanted like 5 million in total over the full deal. And it's not even like 2.5 up front, the rest over the next 3 years. It's like 2.5 up front, $1 million over 3 years, and then the rest is in like goal clauses and stuff like that. So I'm extremely pleased to get this guy in and really boost our left side. He's 6'4". He's decently quick, not outrageously quick, but has great physicals, great mentals, decent finishing as well. His crossing and dribbling is nice to go with it. Great technique. I just think he's a really good pickup for that kind of money. I think we've done incredibly well as far as bargain hunting this summer, which is basically what we've had to do given the amount of money that we were on offer there, because I was really trying to keep a decent amount of change around just in case we found a left back that I wanted, and we have. But this is him, and I'm really glad to bring him in as well. We did look at a guy, an English lad who was at Nacional over in Portugal, who would have counted as, again, EU because he grew up in Portugal. But he joined Man United in the end. His name was Joe Hall. He was actually a right-sided player, but he was left-footed, so I could have put him on the left. And yeah, it's a shame. We would have got him very cheap, but he chose to go to United. Don't really blame him in the end. That's right, Milchea is back, and yet again it has changed it back to plans. I just don't know anymore. Ah, dearie me. But yeah, Milchea is back on loan for a full season, which is really nice to see. Sadly, Dionisi is not back. I tried to loan him. Fiorentina wanted me to pay £10 million for the privilege of loaning him for the season, and then in the end they sold him to Juventus for $20 million, and we just couldn't afford that kind of money for a player that was as... I felt that we could have got better for less, but Juventus were right in there. So Milchea is back, which is nice to see. Unfortunately, this is one of these things I'm always going to have to fix, just because I constantly have to reload the skin and the cash and stuff in between my saves to change all the faces and stuff over. Next up on the chopping block is Dino Sadovic, another Bosnian joining us. This guy, he's only 16, to be fair, but we had the opportunity to sign him. It was a mil. Or was it even a mil? I think it was £750,000 actually. So he's coming. He's only 16 years old, but he's already got 13 tackling, decent marking, decent positioning, some really nice mentals as well on his decisions, his determination, his bravery, aggression, some solid physicals as well. Crossing of 10 as well. Only 16 years old. Definitely one for the future, but to pick him up for 750k, I couldn't really say no. There's been some great players coming out of Bosnia lately, and I was more than happy to pick up yet another of those guys, particularly as I was concerned that maybe Milchea wouldn't come back at that point, and I just wanted depth. But as it is, we've ended up with even more depth. I've also brought in Candido on a season-long loan from Barcelona, purely because he was available more than anything else. He's a left-sided player. His crossing isn't spectacular, but he's got good finishing, good composure, and some lovely mentals and physicals to go with it. So another youngster paying only his wages for the season. They didn't want any extra fees on top of that, so I was happy to just give us that little bit more depth again on that left side. So now we have got way more players gone there too. And don't worry, a few more players have left on that left side as well, which I will show you guys in a sec because I actually forgot about. Main reason I forgot is because on the transfer thingy, it shows you them in the previous season's transfers out rather than this one, because technically he left to go to Slovan Liberec before the actual transfer rollover date. So yes, Andreas Skov Olsen has left. He was on £84,000 a week here, so he's now off the wage bill. You can see why I was able to spend a bit more money in that period. He's gone for £850,000 as well. So we got nearly $1 million for him and 84 grand off the wage bill, which is going to save us a few million this season just in his wages alone. And in addition to that, Marcus Paulo has gone on loan to, God, who is it? Dinamo Česká Budějovice over in, I actually don't even know what league that is, possibly the Czech Republic? Yes, it is the Czech Republic. Now, we're not actually paying his wages, but they are paying us £850,000 for the privilege of having him on loan for the season. So it still is going to pay for a lot of that, and he's going to be leaving at the end of the year anyway. So for me to get 850 grand for him now for the loan fee, and then we release him at the end of the season, I was happy to make the deal. But the last player in is Jan Bruna, a left back. We've signed one. Yes. He's a 20-year-old German left back who's come in from Europa League winning Bayer Leverkusen. I went big with this. I felt like if we were going to find a left back, we had to really go big. The key thing for me is that he's better than Cabrera in most areas. He still has decent physicals and some really nice mentals, but the key thing for me is that 12 crossing and 12 dribbling as well. Good first touch, solid passing as well. His marking is decent-ish. Positioning is solid, tackling is decent, great work rate as well to go with it. Now, he has cost us a fair amount. That goes without saying. It's 10 million up front, and it can rise to 20 million over the next 3 years, 5 years in fact, with a lot of other clauses built in that as well. So it has still cost us a lot of money, and he is on £105,000 a week. But if it's one thing I really wanted to make sure that we did this summer, it was to find ourselves a left back who could really flourish, and I think he is definitely that. And I think that will strengthen us dramatically, because Cabrera is still a phenomenal left back, but having him as a backup to this guy could really be a game changer for me and allow a bit more rotation, particularly as Dionisi's not in the team. You'll also notice that he's played for Bayern, Dortmund, Hanover and Bayer Leverkusen. All of those were permanent transfers. No, none of those were loans. He's been permanently transferred to each and every single club. So that completes our spending for the summer. Now, obviously, that's way more than 12 million, but as I said, we managed to rake in about another 10 million just in selling clauses to teams, and a couple of clauses came in fully properly anyway. That, and there was some extra money being moved around with the wages going out too. So we've definitely managed to spend more than the 12 million, and I'm happy with that. Some of it's been offset over a few years, and I'm banking on us hopefully getting back into Europe for a few more seasons in a row to offset some of that money too. So I'm extremely happy with the players we've signed. I don't think we've really overpaid on any of them, honestly. I think every single player that we've brought in has a value that is higher than that which we paid, and some of them it's dramatically higher. So I think we've done pretty well this window. So today we start off against Napoli, of course. Later in the episode, of course, we'll be doing the Champions League draw too, which I'm very excited about. Coming up from the second tier this year, we had Foggia, I think Crotone, and who's the other team? There was one more, obviously. Benevento. Benevento won the league. How are we going to line up this time? There's a little bit of discontentment within the ranks at the club at the moment, but we'll deal with that. It's because of Pavlich wanting to leave. Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering, you're going to love this. Max Lebert, still pissed because I didn't let him go to Anderlecht on loan 18 months ago. But this is a good-looking team for me. It really is, to be honest. Hewitt coming in, Bruna coming in, Rihiri Haramanana coming in as well. But we might just call him Blessing. Lack a bit of match fitness and stuff, but we've been trying to get as many friendlies in as possible. But I think our squad overall just looks so much deeper. When you look at the quality of the bench at this team, it is outrageous. Still not sure if I'm going to go with Moscatelli or Milosevic this season either. I was thinking about selling Nicholas Flans as well this summer if a big bid came in for him, because we have had them in the past, but in the end, nobody put a bid in for him, so yeah, I guess he's staying. I just feel like this team has got way more capacity to handle the extra fixtures that we're going to have this season. That said, I do still think we'll play a lot less games than last year, just on account of the fact that we'll be in higher quality European competitions that we probably won't last as long in than last year. I'm excited to see how we do in this one. The fitness levels will obviously improve with some time to go on that one as well. Hopefully once the transfer window shuts and Barcelona are no longer interested in Dinko Pavlich, he'll sort himself out and get back happy again. The Lebert situation, I genuinely think might just last the entire length of his contract, and if that's the case, then that is stupid. Bruna is not the tallest. I will say that is one thing that Cabrera has over him, is a little bit of the height stuff, but in all the other areas, Bruna is vastly better. Well, not vastly better, but definitely better. Jurasevic bringing it forward. It's a big save, actually, from Moscatelli as Evgen picks it up again. We've not done well to start this game, and Jurasevic is in again here, and saved by Moscatelli again. Tries one for Granados. Can he slip one through for Lebert, maybe? He's got support out wide from Mihilchea. Really happy to have him back as well. Granados, ball in. Hewitt, can he turn it? Lebert! And it's a good save from Lebert. Nice vision from Chris Hewitt as well, though. Good to see. Speaking of poor performances, that was kind of us in that first half. Not really an excellent one for us, but we have kept the game 0-0, which is very important. And heck, if we end up getting a 0-0 draw here, I would take that, to be honest. We've got a lot of good results, like scraping draws away from home last season at some of the big sides, and it made a difference. Hewitt. Lebert's run was poor. Lebert won't win it, but I tell you what, this is going to fall to Granados. Can he find Lebert now with a pass, perhaps? Yes, he can. Lebert's in behind. It's a tight angle for him. It's a tight... Oh, he just takes it a little too late, I think. Blessing, out on the left. Can he find something for us? Maybe a cross. He's showing some strength here. He's got through, and it's Quarto with the power. Oh, Napoli 0, Sassuolo 1, and once again, right place, right time. Who else but Marco Quarto? He cannot be stopped, can he? Great work here on the left-hand side from Blessing. It's nice to have a player that can do a bit of both. Bit of crossing play, but also has an attacking threat himself. It's a lovely little pullback. Quarto, calm as you like. 1-0 Sassuolo. We've done nothing really in this game, but that's so nice to see. We've got a minute left here. I've turned on some more defensive instructions just to try and calm this game down, start the time waste, slow the tempo, do the things we've been doing to try to see out games more lately. And it's a good piece of clearance play, I think, from Uriarte. We actually have Napoli 0, Sassuolo 1. We bided our time in the first half, weren't looking particularly good, definitely had some more chances in the second period, and we've got a crucial victory away at Napoli on the first day of the season. You can see that in the second half we definitely came back into things and got better, but still, we rode our luck at times in that first half. Good result for us though, as Quarto once again the hero. Come on! Right, Champions League draw. Right then, friends, it's draw time. So, by the way, Napoli just put a £6 million bid in on Sebastiano Bigi. You remember from a few seasons ago, one of our 5-star youth prospects. That's a big sign. He's still only 17 and they're already trying to pay £6 million for him. So I've been trying to keep these guys at the club this year rather than loan them out. One, because we need them for homegrown, but also because I actually think they could get a chance in some of our cup games this season, and I want to show those guys some love because I think they deserve first team football. There's quite a few of those guys that I want to see more games out of, so I will be using them more this year. And that's even more depth we'll have. So, yeah. Obviously, Everton, having won the league last year, get top pot there as well. So we're pot 4, unfortunately, which makes sense. We would need... That being said, I think a decent season in Europe this year would be enough to see us become a pot 3 side within a year. So that's not too bad. But I do think we're going to have a pretty tough group. And really, no matter who we end up with, it's going to be a very difficult group. But it probably won't be any harder than the Europa League group we got last year. So far, I'm liking the look of Group F quite a lot. Although Group A, with Valencia in there too, isn't looking too bad. Group C might be quite tough. Group D? Oh, we can't go Group D because Lazio. Not that we're in this round anyway. I want to see you guys in Group F as well. Ooh, Monaco. Okay. Please not Group G is all I can say. Okay, come on. Group A would be okay. Please not Group B. Okay. Or Group C. Okay, Group D. We can't get Group D. Group E wouldn't be that bad. Oh, go on. Give us Group F. Yes! Come on! I will take that. Red Bull Salzburg, Spurs, and Monaco is definitely... not easy by any means. It's the Champions League. But for me, that's one of the better groups that we could have had. So, next episode is going to be Spurs and Monaco, both away from home. We start off with 2 away games in the Champions League. It's not ideal, but our first Champions League game will be played away at Tottenham. So that's going to be interesting. We've got Bologna and Brescia in between in the league, and Benevento. Like, really? There's a chance that we could go 4 for 4 in the league if we play our cards right in there too. Before Roma and Sam, we've got a decent start to the league, which is good. Good for confidence, get the match fitness up, and Champions League. This is going to be a fun-ass season. So, if you've enjoyed this episode, and I really hope you have, and you're looking forward to it, I might still get another signing in before the end of the summer. Well, you don't know, could still happen. Drop a like on the video, that would be lovely. If you're new to the channel, subscribe too, that would be beautiful. Yeah, streaming Twitch, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, doing our Africa stuff. It's been going swimmingly. And I will see you guys tomorrow for some Champions League action for the very first time in this save. It is going to be awesome. We got 14 million just for getting to the group stages too, which is very nice. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys soon. Hold your gun. Capybara. Bye-bye.